everyone. Cigar, Cognac, and Conversation. Tonight, I am your host, Herb Cleveland. Tonight, I have with me Chan Robinson. He's running for mayor of Sanford. And I'm giving him an opportunity to speak his platform and let y'all know what's going on. How you doing, Chan?
I'm doing good, brother. Thank you for having me on.
Oh,
it's
man.
an honor to be here, man. These seats are cozier than they look, and they look cozy.
Yeah, man. I see everybody running, and I seen you down there in front of the library. I cast my early vote. I got mine out the way. And so how do you feel right now towards everything right now?
Honestly, passionate. It's a lot of energy. You know, as a candidate, I don't work with any interest groups. Nobody's ever taught me. I got a bachelor's in political science, but that teaches you how the government works. Right. Nobody ever teaches you how to run a campaign, right, or what to expect or what to do. What's the first thing you do when you want to run? Where do you file your papers from everything, the strategy? So you get to a point and it always builds up towards the end. In these last few days, this is when the bulk of the people, there's a reason why most people, most citizens throughout the country vote on election day. You know, all this early voting, and you know, less than 20% oftentimes vote early or by mail. They all show up on the last day. Yeah. So in these last few days, my email's been full, and you're getting people passionate. And as a candidate, you're not just running for you. You know, it's not just my name's on the signs. There's single moms out there, you know, struggling, worried about affordable housing, telling me that they believe in me and that they want me to win, so they have hope. You know, there's people that want to see the city do good. So just passionate, man. I can't get away from it. You know, my phone's blowing up nonstop. And there's a lot of energy, and we want to ride it through.
Okay, so let me ask you this: so why are you interested in this position, though?
Being honest, it's my dream job. Like I try to tell everybody. You know, I was student body president, actually the first African American student body president of Lake Mary High School. I've loved leading my peers as long as it was an option. You know, and then that's why I went to college and I got a bachelor's in political science before I joined the Army. I knew I would come back here someday because I see how important it is to put leaders in that actually work for the people and do what they want. And from a young age, I couldn't get away from it. So regardless of what I was doing, I've always loved this work. And you know, some kids want to be astronauts, some kids want to be football players. You know, I went to college for track, but I never wanted to run the Olympics. Right, I've always wanted to run for office.
I think sometimes we find ourselves like we have our mind so focused on a whole lot of other things, and you have to target one thing. And I see that's what you're doing, though. You're targeting that one thing, and it is your dream to do that. And I do believe you'll come out on top. In case a lot of people don't know, what are the roles of a mayor?
Oh, thank you. I love answering this question as much as possible because a mayor is not a mayor is not a mayor. See, what most people think of a mayor, they think of what is known as a strong mayor. These are cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, even Miami and Orlando. You know, they have the full-time CEO mayor that gets paid 6 figures a year and is essentially a CEO of the city. We have what is known as a weak mayor system or a mayor city commissioner system where we hire a city commissioner, a city manager, and the city manager is essentially the CEO. He's the one that gets paid 6 figures, Norton Bonaparte.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, see, he's a good city manager. A lot of people don't. But he's the CEO of the city. The city commission, between the mayor and the commissioners, they can hire and fire him and review him at any moment. He can be fired tomorrow.
Right.
You know, but he's doing a good job. That's not to say that we should fire him tomorrow. I'm just giving you an example. And the mayor heads the city commission, which is made up of the mayor as the head and as of now 4 commissioners. And so between them, the city manager in his office and his vast office of, you know, everybody from engineers to economic developers to parks and recreation, they come together and they build the proposals of what they recommend and present that to the city commission.
Oh, so that's how that works.
And we would, as mayor, I would sit on that commission and lead the votes. You know, if they come up with something that we don't want, if a park wants to get built here and the community members are saying, we don't want a park in our neighborhood, we want something else. You know, that's where the mayor's power, if you would, that everybody thinks they have comes in is saying yes and no to what the city manager in his office proposes.
Mm.
And on top of that, there's a lot of ceremonial figures and ceremonial duties, such as, you know, representing and giving morale and selling the city. A lot of people don't realize it, but property that's available right now, we're in the current practice with our administration of waiting for our phone to ring to sell some property that we own that's available to develop. We wait for developers that come in with their own ideas to come purchase these properties.
Right.
When as a mayor, we need to be inviting these companies out here. I need to get in my best suit, get on my phone, call leaders of hotels and tell them that we need to build hotels out by the mall.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
That's
right.
There's so much
Right.
more than just than what's on paper to what a mayor does, because there's nothing in the bylaw that says a mayor needs to sell the city, but the city is a company and we have to think about it like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you run a cigar bar, how do you get people in here? You have to promote.
Right.
If we got an airport as a city, how do we get people into our airport? We got to promote. But furthermore, we have to build it, because now you have people coming into your cigar bar to smoke. So you have drinks for them. You know what I mean? You have an outdoor section for them. We have an airport. We need to build a hotel for them. So now they're
Right,
not
right.
flying here and staying at the Marriott in Lake Mary. They're
Yep.
staying here. We're getting that tax money, and that's what's going to develop Goldsboro. That's what's going to develop the mall. You know, I'm tired of Altamont having the best mall in the city.
Right, right, right.
I want to compete.
Hey, what are the qualities that a mayor needs to be effective?
Oh, there's a lot of qualities. It's impossible to sum this up in one list, but I'm going to give you the first ones that roll off. I mean, I think CIC, character, integrity, credibility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to stand on your word when you. Yeah, if you're going to go out and promote something, then you have to live by it.
Right, right, right.
And I think that you need a mayor that's the same way every day, whether he's meeting with a developer,
Right.
whether he's meeting with a citizen, whether he's meeting with his mom.
Right.
It needs to be the same set of standards, and I think you ground yourself in standards. Like, I really do believe in helping everybody. I do believe in everybody having an opportunity to make it. And regardless, some of us are always going to hustle more,
Right.
and some of us are going to make more money simply for the fact that we work harder and we want it more. But at the end of the day, there's some people. There'll never be an opportunity for everybody, you know, to be millionaires.
Right.
And you may have to make sure that as we grow and, you know, we get hungry people that come up and buy land and you know, and make money, such as like rental properties. You know, we have to make sure that we're looking out, you know, for the everyday person, the
Right.
person that is content with their family, the everyday family person that really just wants a simple life and wants to afford a house. We have to make sure that we look out for everybody.
And as far as those steps go, like, I know if somebody just came to you and say, hey, we have a situation or a problem, I know it can't just get done just like that. What are the steps to getting that done? Do you have to go through so many people first or before it even gets to your desk?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do plan on, and one thing is I do plan on establishing an open door policy where at least multiple times a week I have time made for citizens to contact me. I'm going to have a private phone line for citizens. Obviously, I can't answer it every day, but you know, we'll have a voicemail system set up, and we'll see how big it is. And if the calls come in too much, then we'll have an assistant. And if that assistant's not enough, then we'll have 2 assistants monitor this line. But I do want to establish a direct line of contact with every citizen before we get to the city manager, before we get to anybody else in the government. But to answer your question more directly, you know, when you get a problem entails a bunch of different things, sometimes dozens, sometimes 100 different things for one particular problem.
Okay.
And going back off of what I told you about the city manager, you know, the city manager's office is vast. There's experts in every department that know more about that particular issue than I will ever know, because that's what their specialty is.
Right.
If we're building parking garages, we need an engineer.
Okay.
If we're talking about environmental, we need an environmental scientist.
Right, right.
You know, I have degrees and certifications, but neither me or my opponents are engineers, you know, thorough environmental scientists. You know, we're not licensed in a lot of things that need to be done. So you get an expert on it, whatever the incident is, you need an expert in the room. And I will never be the sole expert. I make the decision based off what the experts give me. A lot of politicians don't tell you that. They'll like to tell you that they can sell, you know, they have the answer to everything.
Right.
And it's always a team decision. So I would take your problem, and how the pipeline would go is once that problem gets brought to me, we direct it to the right department.
Right.
And we'll make sure that we get the experts on there to give opinions, and we'll, especially depending on the urgency, we'll get it solved as quick as possible.
Okay, and how do you envision your daily routine as mayor?
So right now I'm currently just independent contracting.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I built a fence a couple months ago. I laid some laminate floor a couple weeks ago, and I'm just doing side jobs. My family's in construction and basic, landscape and those are hard-working industries, and I'm gonna get back into it, and I'm probably gonna try to run, at the best of my ability, a little bit more managerial side, and I have some guys in the field and develop, a company that I started called Home Tech back in Fort Bragg when I first got out of the Army during COVID.
Okay.
So I am gonna run some business, but I do not want to work in a traditional 9 to 5 because the mayor only makes roughly a little over $20,000 a year. It's not a full-time job. You're not required to be in the office 9 to 5. You're not required to be in the office at all, except for the commission meetings and several other meetings that come up from time to time. And I think that's what the mayors and the current mayors are doing. They're spending as little time. I want to kind of run my business. If ideally, once I make it happen, I want to run my business, in my free time remotely, so that I can be at my house or even, answer phone calls in the mayor's office and spend as much time downtown shadowing some of the departments and making sure that we're getting a good feel for everything.
Right.
I love learning from other people.
And so how would you stay motivated in that position?
The motivation takes care of itself. The minute that, I swear in and realize that I'm in charge of, handling the well-being of every single citizen, 64,000 plus residents, that's the motivation enough. It will always be there. It won't go away. That's a lot of responsibility, and a lot of people look up to you. And I really want to embrace that position and not just be a mayor that votes,
right,
whether the decisions are good or not. I don't want to be a mayor that just votes. I want to be a mayor that inspires somebody. I want a young kid in high school or middle school at a pep rally to hear me talk and say, man, that mayor is young. I relate to him. He looks like me, or I want to be like that. I've never seen a mayor that's cool. I think we're separating. So many people don't understand how ceremonial a mayor is.
Right.
I've proven my ability to study. I got a bachelor's and a master's.
Right.
I served 5 years special operations. I've proven I can learn overnight. I know math. I can learn more in-depth math, whether it's millage rates or whether it's taxes. There's more for me to learn, but some of those things like being able to inspire people and relate to people, that's intangible. Not everybody has it.
And what was your, you would say that was your toughest challenge as coming into this, in this mayorship as like a process?
During this process, honestly, just being young, starting out, I made my first announcement that I was running for mayor back in November.
Okay.
I made a post that got 30 likes. I got about 5 or 10 calls the next day saying, hey man, you're too young, you've been away in the military, you've been deployed for the past, couple years, you can't just come back in and run, you have to do this, you have to step on this board, you have to be a certain age.
Right.
And so the toughest process is just filtering through the crowd.
Yeah.
In your mind, you tell yourself, all right, we're just going to cut it month by month, week by week, until we get to the finish line, and we're going to get these people along the way. And so it's hard to get these people to believe. And a lot of people don't believe until they see other people start believing.
Right.
So we've been carving out that solid base of like 200 people that actually believe in us. And, now in these last days when they're seeing posts and they're seeing love and they're seeing signs and they're seeing dollars turn to momentum, they're coming. They're coming and they're realizing we're still here, we're still alive.
Right.
And we're still in the game. So just fighting through, having the confidence when your mom and grandma or your cousin tells you you have no chance of winning.
Right.
That's the hardest part, is waking up the next day and telling yourself you can still win.
And you have to have confidence in yourself even if no one else does. And if you was to sit down and if you was that 1% or like a full 100% and you got one person who believes in you, or either no, let's just say, if you got one person that's negative who don't believe in you, you got 99 people, other people who believe in you, if you listen at that person, that one person who don't believe in you, you'll lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You have to listen at all 99 other people say, hey, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. I say this because you won't never know unless you try it. If you gave up halfway, you'll never know how your success will be at the end.
Yeah.
If you gave up on anything, you'll never know. So, you know, I'm glad that you're doing your run, and it was a nice event that you had at the bowling alley. I felt that love out of it.
I do, man, and I believe that's what a mayor should do. You know, I think it's a shame that I've been outraised. You know, both of my opponents have raised over $25,000 plus to my roughly $10,000, and neither one of them have had an event where they've had over 30 people in the room. No energy, no momentum. You know, they're just kind of playing it safe. They have thousands of dollars to buy stamps to send letters to people's mailboxes that they never talk to and that they'll never talk to for 4 years if they're elected. And I believe in, you know, we got picked up in donations the past couple months, and if I have to spend a couple $1,000s, which is a big amount to a guy like me, you know, I'm not a millionaire by any means. If I'm going to spend a couple $1,000s, why not have an event at the bowling alley? Because some of those kids that bowled there that night, you know, I talked to their parents and they said, oh, I haven't had money to bowl in forever. My kids haven't been bowling in so long. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to bowl. I almost like had to step away when she told me that, and you know, almost wiped a tear the other night because she told me that. And I didn't plan it for that reason, but I planned it so that the community could have something to do.
Right.
And that touched me. You know what I mean? Think about that. These kids haven't bowled in a year and might not bowl for another year because mom's having it hard.
And speaking about donation, I would love to give you an out-of-pocket donation myself, my man.
Okay, thank you.
And
we got to register this with the supervisor elections, and I
got
will.
you.
We'll
I got
register.
you.
It'll be on there.
I got you. I got you. Now, I'm going to go and end the podcast tonight with Sharon Robinson, everybody. And I'm going to let you answer some questions, whatever, to the audience, whatever. Anyone have any questions for this mayor, please feel free to answer. And after that, I have a young man who's going to sing on Shaking Not Stirred, Tre'Vius Williams. He's going to take us on home on Shaking Not Stirred, everybody.
I heard good things about him.
Okay, yes, I have a question. It's about the parking lot, like as far as the handicap parking, like in front of these buildings. How do we get handicap parking? As far as, you know, like I have a cousin that's who's handicapped, whatever. He comes here a lot, and he had to park way over there in the other parking space way across the street, and call someone to come and to help him halfway.
Yeah, because there's not enough handicap parking spots in your area, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, one thing is if we solve the large parking problem for the bulk of the city, the non-handicapped folks, like, for example, if we built a parking garage years ago when we had the room for it, before we built Tuffy's, which could hold 1,500 people, 1,500 you know, patrons at a time, that's a lot of people. That's enough to fill downtown alone.
Yeah.
So if we build a permanent parking solution, whether it's a parking garage or 2 split lots located on either sides of the city so that we can facilitate, then I think we'll be able to make a handful more of the regular parking right now. We'll be able to convert those to handicaps. So I think once we build that permanent parking solution, we can probably take 15 to 30% of the lots that are up front and make those handicapped. Therefore, you'll have more handicap to facilitate those needs. That's what I would try to leave.
Yeah, I want to know what y'all trying to do about like affordable home and affordable housing for the disabled and the elderly and the homeless people.
Absolutely. If you check my website, my Facebook, my Instagram, or listen to any debates that I've been in for the past year, you will hear that affordable housing is one of my biggest concerns, because I'm worried, and it's not just disabled and elderly and veterans. It's 19-year-olds fresh out of high school, and you know, I think they lead the list, and it's a close list. It's tight, but like, imagine being 19 years old and getting out of high school and you don't want to go to college, and you know, all of a sudden you meet the love of your life, y'all have a baby. You can't even. My mom was 19 when she had my oldest brother, fresh out of high school, and you know, she was able to get into a house, was to get a loan. That's not even possible now. You can't even, a lot of people can't even get approved for apartments.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you with a job, you know.
Yeah. And so my solution to that is to make sure that we use our lands, especially in places like Goldsboro, where we used to have, you know, a bad version of affordable housing, but affordable housing where the housing projects were. And now we're talking about building football fields. I think we need to make sure that we take care of the future first. And I think one of my biggest passions I want to do, and it's risky and it's going to take some amending in codes, but I want to build tiny houses. I think there's so many people right now that would be okay with living in a 1-bedroom, or even like a small 2-bedroom, or a tiny house made out of shipping containers and barns. Technology has advanced so much that people are turning 2 shipping containers into a full house. And I think we need to experiment and get on the cutting edge of that, and actually give people a place that they can own and not cram them into apartment complexes. You know, apartment complexes that they'll never own, or bring another style of housing projects back out where they never owned, and when they wanted to, what did they do to those people? They kicked them out.
Kick them out.
And did you know they just spread them out all over the city? And did you know that during the Trayvon incident that, you know, Trayvon's family and a lot of people that were in that, a lot of old Goldsboro people, black people and families, were moved to retreat at Twin Lakes?
Yeah.
You know, they were moved there out of their houses,
Yeah.
and the locals there were upset because low-income folks on Section 8 housing were paying $800 a month for houses that they were paying $1,400 a month for. So that starts problems. You have to build houses in the communities that match the income level. You know, if you want to build high-income apartments that cost $2,500 a month to live in, you do that in areas where people make that kind of money. Yeah. But in Goldsboro, the average person's making nowhere near that. So I'm going to do everything I can, and I promise you.
Yeah, because see, I was raised in the projects over there that they tore down.
William Clark?
No, Cal Moulton Terrace.
Okay.
Yeah.
I promise you, I'm going to stand up for you.
All right.
Help me get elected and tell everybody you know in Sanford, and I promise you, if I'm the mayor, we're gonna handle that.
Okay.
You can question me on this.
All right. Got you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate y'all coming out.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me talk to y'all.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight for Cigar Cognac and Conversations, and having me and Chan Robinson running for mayor. Hopefully y'all did your early vote, but if not, y'all go to the polls and vote. I think the last day is when the 22nd.
No, it's
The 23rd. Well, it'll be next week. If y'all get y'all votes in, whatever. And tonight, I have somebody who's gonna rock the house tonight. A young man named Tre'Vayus Williams. He gonna do his thing on show. On show, he gonna do a good job in doing his thing.